it's a weird policy versus reality. People want to make money. You know, there's a whole lot of aspects that's going to. I'm with you, and I'm really interested in the reform, and I love the topic, and I'm glad to have met you so we can know who the point of contact is in Slovenia for those people who are interested in advocacy and promotion.
Yeah, and also what we do at the Talman Group, we kind of try to bridge the gap between the private and the public sector.
Right.
Because
that's a train.
That's a train, yeah, basically, yeah. We call it the bridge, but it could be a train, yeah. Because what we found is that there are a lot of state research institutions in Slovenia that do cannabis research. There's universities, there's research institutions, but they don't really connect. They don't connect to the private sector, to the investors, and they don't connect to each other. So we're addressing this and we're bridging this gap, and we're also getting opportunities for startups who want to find investors. We're finding investment opportunities for investors who want to invest into a startup, companies who are looking for R&D. So we're doing a lot. So I think it's a great opportunity.
In Europe at ICBC. Sorry, there's a little jet lag there, so there's a delay. You see that? We are here with Gasper from Slovenia. And I was going to make an effort at pronouncing your last name because I like to have fun like that. But why don't you go ahead and pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, it's Gasper Friskovec.
Gasper Friskovec. Can you say that? Well, you got the accent.
Gasper Friskovec.
Yeah, see, well, he's from...
yeah, that was good. That was really good.
Where are you from?
Bulgaria.
He's from Bulgaria.
Oh yeah, so it's kind of a Slavic, not really, but so it's easier for him, yeah.
I always want to say he's from Romania, but it's Bulgaria. So it's I don't know. After USSR broke up, I lost track of geography. It's all confusing for us Americans. Demitri Downing back here with another episode of MITA Unshackled, ICBC Europe, Cannabis, meeting some really cool people from companies and stuff, getting a little bit of rundown on what's happening in different countries as well. There's so much to grab here. We're trying to get you little morsels here and there, but we are here with the expert as to what's happening in Slovenia, regulatory-wise, licensing-wise, medical marijuana, adult use marijuana. Can you even fly into Slovenia with a joint? We're going to get into all that. Tell us about yourself, first of all, and then let's talk about Slovenia and the market structure there.
Yeah. So I'm a licensed attorney. And my first experience with cannabis was basically defending clients in front of court. I'm a criminal defense attorney.
Right.
And then I met Alex, and we kind of really hooked it up. And then I came into the cannabis business, learned a lot about it. I saw that it's so much to it that people don't know. And now we're meeting scientists who are doing amazing research, and it opens up the perspective. It opened up the perspective for me. And so what we're doing right now is trying to help those researchers do the research, because basically everyone that we talk to says it's really limited. It's really hard to do research because it's either the legislation is a mess, it's so many administrative burdens that you need to fulfill, and they don't decide just not to do it because they don't know what they can do, what cannot do. Will we get fined for that? And this is what we try to make better.
So what is now? So, for our audience out there who aren't experts in how the regulatory structure works in Europe, you have the EU, you have Slovenia, you have laws in Slovenia, you have laws that are impacting all the EU. How's it going to break down in Europe? What is the current status in Slovenia of cannabis? Is it decrim, medical, adult use? And then how's it going to work in regards to the fact that the borders, don't really exist?
Yeah. So it is funny. So in the regulatory framework for Slovenia is basically the same as every current country, comes from the single conventions from the United Nations.
Yes.
Then in Europe, we also have the Schengen Agreement and another regulatory part from the EU. And then every member state has its own legislation. So it's a bit confusing because there are It's not the same. The regulation is not the same in every EU country. So in Slovenia, recreational is still illegal. We do have a medical program, but the problem is that it's not really working. So we're trying to make it happen because it's kind of funny. So on paper, medical cannabis is legal in Slovenia, but it's not being used because our agency said that there are no guidelines on prescribing. So the only really use that we have right now is for epilepsy on children, and we're trying with the cancer patients. But there's so much more applications for medical cannabis, and we're working on those now to try to bring the guidelines to basically to the regulator to allow prescribing of cannabis.
So what happens? Oh, sorry, did you have a question?
Just wanted to continue your thought because it's very common for the European countries to do that.
Yep.
They talk about medical, they allow it, but cannot implement it because it just doesn't. They need to write guidance. So the same in Romania, same in Poland, same in Greece. I can go on and on. Just all these countries, they have medical policy, but nobody's patient. They don't have patients.
Patients can't get to it.
Yeah, so on a pragmatic level, though, you are a criminal attorney, and we do have that thing called jury nullification. What happens in Slovenia if somebody gets caught with growing, possessing, and they're a patient? Can they tell the court, "I'm a patient"? What happens?
Yes, so it's really funny. The problem is that it's not regulated at all. So the bottom line is cannabis is illegal because in Slovenia, on the list of illicit drugs, we have cannabis as a plant, so as a whole plant, and also THC. So the opinion of our Supreme Court is that since cannabis as a plant is on the list of illicit drugs, it doesn't even matter if it's hemp. It's illegal to grow. So even if it's 0.2, 0.3% THC, it's illegal, so you cannot grow it. When it becomes a criminal offense, so that it's not just a misdemeanor, there is no clear line. The Supreme Court judicial system usually says, well, if you have like 2 or 3 plants, or if it's 50 grams, 60 grams, and there is no indication that you're trying to sell. So it's just for you. So to make it practical, if there's no small bags, there's no scales, so nothing implies that you are trying to sell it, then it's okay. But as I said, this is based on case-to-case basis. It doesn't say as in the law you can have personal possession. It doesn't. So it's illegal. But the courts usually, if there's no implication of you selling it and distributing it, then it's usually not a criminal process.
Do the police officers even arrest you, or what do they say? Can you tell a police officer, no, this is medicinal?
Right now, not really.
Not really. They're
not really. No. I mean, it basically depends on their goodwill.
Yeah. And go to Bulgaria and smoke with George.
Yeah. So it's this is what we're trying to also address, because, as I said, it's really unclear, and for the same reason that I just explained, researchers tend not to do research because they said, we don't know. I mean, we have a research program, what you can do, but it's so complicated, and it needs to be locked up, and people need to be tracked. We're dealing with it. It's so much administrative burden that they said, well, you know what, we'd rather not do it.
You can't tell them that Demitri verified it's a medicine in the United States?
I never tried that, so I'll write that down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll certify it.
I'll try that.
MITA certified.
Well, I've come to the belief that my own empirical experience is probably better than most scientific research. You know, I'm like Spock like that, you know? Just kidding.
No, I think
Star Trek references.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna open up now that, as you know, Germany passed a bill on basically more or less recreational use, or should I say, homegrown and social clubs. So I think this is gonna really open up the situation in Europe, because once Germany does something in the EU, it's different than if Bulgaria would do it or Slovenia would do it, because Germany has always been like the beacon. I
have to pull the map as you're speaking. So you were saying Germany's going to lead the way?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what, because Germany is attached to all these.
Germany is bordering on Austria, on Switzerland, on France. But it's not really the geographical position. It's their Germany, together with France, have also always been like the leaders of the EU.
Yeah.
So, and once they do something, it usually promotes change on the whole European level. So I think this will really help. Although I have to be honest, we're making really good progress also in Slovenia. Now we had an event, International Council, like 14 days ago. We brought all the scientists there who spoke on the applications of cannabis, and not just medical applications, also the industrial implications from hemp batteries and hempcrete and all different applications. And we managed to bring that to the National Council, which is basically the lower house of the parliament. And so I think we're making really good progress now.
Don't you have ICBC Slovenia too?
Yeah, we do have. We had it last year for the first time. It was one of the first steps that we tried to take to kind of inform in the first part the legislator to say, listen, the cannabis is not bad. There's a whole wide variety of applications that you can do from medical and other, and to try to raise that stigma on cannabis. And I have to be honest that the current government in Slovenia is really positive towards it. So I think we will succeed.
I think we need to learn from Israel, because at the time they really allowed all the universities to do university research. That's why the leadership of cannabis research is coming from Israel.
Yeah.
In the United States, we face the same issue as in Europe. Universities, they wanted to do research, but they don't have. They don't know how to get the possession of cannabis, how to grow. They have to go through the same regulation as a cannabis operator does, which was for university. That's too much.
You know, and I love these themes, but while all this happens, people figure out really clever ways to make money. So I'm thinking that we could do like an overnight train from Slovenia to Munich, and we could set up like, hey, our boys from Slovenia. We'd be like, let's go to Munich to a recreational cannabis club, and let's all hang out for the weekend, and then we can come back to Slovenia. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because that's like a 2-hour thing. I'm looking at the map here. It's like
there's just one problem. You have to be based in Germany to enter their social club.
See,
or residency. They require residency.
Yeah. They require residency in Germany.
Okay, so the social clubs in Germany require residency. Good to know.
For example, the Spanish, they don't. So everybody can become a member of a Spanish social club. You just need to be invited by an existing member.
Okay.
But in Germany, they said, no, you have to be based in Germany. So residency.
But we don't know what that paperwork's going to look like in Germany yet, though, right?
No, we don't.
So once we see it, we'll find a loophole. And
I'm sure we will.
Our train load of Slovenians heading up to Munich, right? How far is that? Like 2-hour train? 1 hour?
Yeah, no, it's a bit more. I think with the express train, it'd be like a 3.5 hour trip.
So we're going to do some overnight tourism from Slovenia, or weekend tourism from Slovenia to Germany. We'll call them Cannabis Tree. The Cannabis Express.
Cannabis Express.
Cannabis
I like
Express
that.
from Slovenia. We'll make a business out of it.
But I really hope that we don't have to do that, that we're going to pass the thing in Slovenia.
It's a weird policy versus reality.
Yeah.
People want to make money. There's a whole lot of aspects of this cannabis. I'm with you, and I'm really interested in the reform, and I love the topic, and I'm glad to have met you so we can know who the point of contact is in Slovenia for those people who are interested in advocacy and promotion.
Yeah, and also what we do at the Talman Group, we kind of try to bridge the gap between the private and the public sector.
Right.
Because
that's a train.
That's a train, basically, We call it the bridge, but it could be a train, because what we found is that there are a lot of state research institutions in Slovenia that do cannabis research. There's universities, there's research institutions, but they don't really connect. They don't connect to the private sector, to the investors, and they don't connect to each other. So we're addressing this and we're bridging this gap, and we're also getting opportunities for startups who want to find investors. We're finding investment opportunities for investors who want to invest into a startup, companies who are looking for R&D. So we're doing a lot. I think it's a great opportunity.
How do people learn more about the Talman Group? Is it you got a website?
Yeah, we got a website. It's thetalmangroup.com. They can learn about what we do, basically around our packages or services that we offer.
And is it Slovenia specific, or is it reaching out to?
No. It's we're based in Slovenia because, as you know, Alex moved to Slovenia. He married this amazing Slovenian girl, and he moved to Slovenia, and that's why the company is based in Slovenia. But we're doing business basically globally.
Excellent.
So also the partners, the research institutions are not just Slovenian based that we're connecting with; they're European wide based. So yeah.
Wow. Well, now I know a whole lot more about Slovenia. Did you know all this about what's going on over there?
Well, I've been passing through Slovenia many times, but I never had so much insights.
Yeah. You should visit. I mean, we're gonna have an ICBC in September in Slovenia, so you should come and visit.
You know what? I very well might do that. And this is why we do ICBC. This is why we do Cannabis, because you meet guys like, and I can't even pronounce your name correctly.
Gasper Friskovec.
You meet Gasper Friskovec. You get to learn a little bit about Slovenia. You get invited to Slovenia, and you get to follow the evolution of this plant, this community, the policy across the world, and this very unique time in the history of a plant.
Yep.
It's such a strange thing. It's just a plant.
It is. It's just a plant, and it's been around for basically forever.
Yeah.
And we kind of decided to criminalize it for some reason.
Well, so I'm going to encourage people to go to Slovenia in September and uncover weird business models like the train to Germany.
Yep.
You never know.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the politics and the path that Slovenia has, you know, it might just get stuck, and then Germany blows up. There's recreational cannabis everywhere. And there's going to be a lot of people in Slovenia who are like avid consumers who'd be like, well, where do we go? Well, we either fly to California, Spain, or we take that train that you are the lawyer for that goes up to Germany because you figured out how to do the whole cards and stuff. You can even sell cards.
We'll organize residency for people up there.
There you go. I finally got them to agree. There's always a way. But these things happen. I mean, like in Texas, right at New Mexico-Texas border, that New Mexico dispensary is feeding Texas. Yep. Oklahoma, right at the borders, feeding Texas. And it has for like 3-5 years now, and it will for another 3-5 years while Texas figures its stuff out. But somebody's making money. And there's a lot of people that don't give a damn about policy and the evolution, and they just want to figure out how to make money now. Well, there you go.
It is like evolution. Life always finds a way.
Right. It really is crazy like that. It's an interesting world out there, and come learn about it with us at MITA Unshackled. George, thank you again for being here, and we appreciate introducing you to our audience.
Thank you.
Any closing thoughts?
No, come and visit Slovenia. There's so much to see, and I also other European states. And I would like to invite you to ICBC Berlin and Slovenia.
Which means our audience is invited too. Look him up. All of his information will be on our website. Thank you, George. We will see you here in a few minutes. Another episode of MITA Unshackled.
Thank you.